Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
You're still living at home?
Yes, I am.
You don't live at home?
I do not live at home.
Okay.
She takes advantage of our parents, by the way, by living at home.
Again?
She takes advantage of our parents by living at home, by the way.
Not at all.
Why did you feel you needed to tell me that?
Because she's 23 years old. She doesn't even try to take care of herself.
How does that help me resolve this case, though? In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. You want him to pay $628.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, knock my socks off. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. The law talks about something may in fact be true, but can they prove it? And that's what's tough.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Cree Strong claims she lost out on an all-expenses-paid vacation she won on the radio because her sister disconnected the call. Ms. Strong is suing Tori Strong in the amount of $1,770. Ms. Strong claims she did hang up the phone, but claims it was an accident after her older sister told her she wasn't taking her on the trip.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties been sworn, Your Honor.
Third, good Deputy Thomas. I got sisters fighting over a trip. You were supposed to go where?
St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. Have you ever been before?
I've never been before, which is
And
why I was
that's
really
why
excited.
you were really excited. And you didn't get to go because?
Because my sister decided to be the brat that she is.
All right, so let's talk about exactly what happened, because she's now calling you a brat. We just got started here.
Man, I'm saying the slander is already beginning.
What's going on?
Okay, so, Your Honor, my sister and I, we were close growing up, but we kind of separated.
Okay.
When we were growing up, I kind of had to take care of her.
You're the older or younger?
I'm older.
Okay.
I'm the older sister.
Okay.
So I had to take care of her. She was kind of always in my shadow. I had to babysit her when my friends were out.
Okay.
By 2
Yeah.
years, you would thought it's by 10, the way she's describing it, though.
You're only
Okay,
2
yes.
years apart?
We're a 2-year difference,
Okay.
but I basically had to behave like her mother.
Okay.
So we
Where was Mom?
At home.
Oh.
Yeah, she was there. She's living. She's well. She's still kicking.
Okay.
She's there.
All right.
Even still,
That's the role you assumed? That's the role
That's
you
the
assumed?
role I assumed, and I
Okay.
feel like she was never thankful for that.
Okay.
But it's family, so
But you
I still
didn't do
love
it.
my sister,
You didn't
but
do
she
it
was
to
never
be
thankful.
thanked. You did it because it's family.
No, but she did. Do you see? Do you understand the attitude? Yeah. She
expected to be praised, and I'm not worthy of all this, and thank you so much. And
Exactly.
I got it.
Exactly.
And you weren't feeling that.
No.
Not so much.
No.
Huh? Okay.
I didn't ask to be here, but we're here.
Right,
But we're here.
And you didn't ask to be the younger one.
Right.
Okay.
She didn't, but she could at least be appreciative.
Okay.
And
She
felt it-
wasn't.
and she showed that when I won my trip to St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
Let's talk about the trip.
Okay. So I went over to my parents' house a couple months ago, and before I went over to my parents' house for lunch, I told my parents, I will be on my phone all day long, looking at my phone, because our local radio station was telling us that if you're caller number 20, you will win an all-expense-paid vacation to St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. So,
Got it.
of course, I want this vacation.
Okay.
And I said initially, I will be taking my best friend. I'm so excited. Okay, so I go over. I'm on my phone for
You're still living at home?
Yes, I am.
You don't live at home?
I do not live at home.
Okay.
She
And
takes
when
advantage
you-
of our parents, by the way, by living
Say
at
it
home.
again?
She takes advantage of our parents by living at home, by the
Not
way.
at all.
Why did you feel you needed to tell me that?
Because she's 23 years old. She doesn't even try to take care of herself.
How does that help me resolve this case, though? You're just trying to get your digs in.
I'm just saying,
Pretty
this is
much.
how I feel.
That's what it
It's
is.
constantly.
Okay.
It's just a fact. But so I was on my phone all day, 8 hours, just calling in. So I just asked my little sister to take the phone for about 5 minutes while I took a bathroom break.
Really,
while,
5? Okay.
Really, 5.
There
That's
was
fine,
a
Grace.
period of time where you told her to stay on the phone
Yeah.
while you handle some business. Okay.
To just keep redialing while
Right.
I go to the bathroom
Okay.
and eat and just take a little break. So she did it for 5 minutes, and then I took the phone back.
Why'd you ask her? Why not ask your parents?
Because I'm selfish, though. You understand?
Right.
Like, I'm selfish.
Right.
Right.
No, I understand.
Okay.
Okay, well, I would think that
And
she-
not appreciative of all she's done for you.
Man, I'm just ridiculous.
And you
the
can't
world's
be relied
worst.
on.
The world's worst.
And yet here you are being
Doing
asked
favors.
to do
I'm
a
never
favor.
saying that
favors.
she's the world's worst person. I think that she can be selfish.
Okay. And yet she said, I will do this.
Yes, for 5 minutes. I don't think
Okay.
that's a lot to ask.
All right. And did she do it for 5 minutes?
She did it for 5 minutes.
And after 5 minutes?
I took my phone back.
She did. She came and got her phone back.
And how was it in fact about 5 minutes?
No, not at all.
How long was
She
it?
ate a full meal.
Okay.
She went to the bathroom. So I don't know.
I can eat a full meal in
and
5
I don't know if
minutes.
she inhaled it, but no, it was definitely not a 5-minute
How long was it?
process. About 15, 20 minutes.
All right.
Coming up on America's Court.
Everyone is co-signing on the ideal of you two going to the Virgin Islands.
Yes.
Except the
for-
person who would be the one dictating who gets to go.
And later,
I asked him, can you do this job without moving the sink? He said yes.
Is that true?
That's correct, yeah.
Did you move the sink?
I did move the sink.
closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Cree Strong, who is suing Tori Strong for $1,770.
Whenever someone says 5 minutes, we know it's not 5 minutes, but go ahead.
Okay, so I got to be caller number 20, and the DJ told me that they were going to put me on hold so that they could figure out how they were going to get my information,
Right.
contact information,
I
and how I
remember
went
all
to
that
receive
as
the
well,
prize.
yes.
Exactly. So I'm screaming, I'm so excited, jumping up and down in the living room with my parents, and Tori's jumping up and down too. And
Well, wait a minute. You were jumping up and down?
Did I help? I participated.
You
I felt I
participated.
should be equally excited.
And the jumping up and down was because you were happy for your sister.
I would, yes,
Yes.
yes,
And you felt you had contributed to this moment.
right.
Okay. Now, what was going on with you as all this was taking place?
Well, I was kind of thrown off because when she moved out, she doesn't really come back home often. So to see her, I was kind of like, oh, okay, hi, Cree. And so when she was telling me about the trip, and we're talking about the trip, what just girl things, what we would buy, things, activities we would do while we're there.
I noticed you inserted we into the story now.
Yes,
We as
wasn't
in
we.
you and her?
she and I.
Okay, I don't recall her saying the trip was for the two of you.
No, but in conversation, that's just how conversation goes. Like, oh, I would go here. Oh, I would go here. No, we should really go here and try this out. Like, things of that nature.
Because
but
when
while
I'm
we're
even
talking,
looking at her out of my periphery, I see her shaking her
but
head.
while we're talking, our parents the whole entire time, like, you girls really do need this trip. Like, the riff is too strong, and it's really putting a hold and a burden on our family. Like, you girls really need to.
Everyone is co-signing on the ideal of you two going to the Virgin Islands.
Yes.
Except the
for-
person who would be the one dictating who gets to go.
I mean, it's not like, again, it's not like I hate my sister. It's just I initially said that I would be taking my best friend on the trip.
Did
I
she
told
say
her
that?
this.
When she won, okay, this is when they put her on hold. We're waiting. We're all excited. We're yelling, and she's like, "Well, what are you so excited for?" I mean, the exact same way we were excited going up about the win. That's exactly how she went up about me not going. Like, as if I was disgusting. I wasn't good enough to go with her. It was so offensive that it hurt my feelings to the point where I grabbed the phone. In our conversation, like, well, wait a minute. In grabbing the phone drops and the phone disconnects.
That's completely untrue because how does a phone just disconnect in
Well,
the air?
what's true is that the phone disconnected.
But it doesn't just.
No, talk to me. Is that what happened? The phone disconnected?
It was. She hung it up.
Okay.
It was not just disconnected by air.
And when you call back,
I didn't call back. No.
why wouldn't you call back? They know you won. They know it's you.
I mean, we were still arguing back and forth. She literally attacked me. It wasn't
It's
like
not about the trip. It's sincerely just about the fact that I got this. You can't go. And then my thing was the fact that she wouldn't take me and she would take her best friend Lauren. It's just like salt in the wound. So you know that me and this girl do not get along whatsoever. And it's like I'm not going
What
to.
she did felt like salt in a wound on your body.
Yes.
And that pain was real.
Yes.
And so you wanted her to feel real pain.
No, I wanted to be
And
heard.
the real pain that you wanted her to feel was disconnecting that phone call.
No, I wanted to be heard.
And by
She's-
disconnecting that phone call, now you have her attention because she hurt you. I get it. Is that the story?
Yes,
No.
that is exactly the story.
I
And
didn't
what's
have-
the 1770?
The 1770 is, I actually have my
Yes.
evidence here.
I still don't understand why you wouldn't call the station back. Did you try to, at some point, call the station back?
I tried about an hour later, and it was just a no-go. Someone else had gotten the vacation.
They gave it to someone else.
Yes.
I see. And it was valued at $1,770.
Yes.
I got it. Anything else?
I do not have anything
Anything
else.
else?
Yes, I have text messages from a conversation with my mother and I. She's pretty much saying that I did help her while we were calling to get the trip.
Okay.
And while this whole entire time she's denying, I mean, you didn't help me. It was only for 5 minutes. But my thing is, if you knew before you ever came to our house that Lauren was going with you, then Lauren should have been the person at our house. You should have asked Lauren to help you with those calls while you went to the bathroom, while you ate, and not me.
But shouldn't
'Cause I
somebody
wouldn't
always
have-
help you?
I wouldn't have
Let her
felt
talk.
anything.
I got it. Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, if you think that that justifies your behavior in this case, you are stunningly misinformed. You will pay your sister $1,770. Judgment for the plaintiff. That is the order. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $1,770.
It's unfortunate I had to bring my sister to court, but I'm going to St. Thomas.
As long as I owe my sister, she'll never be broke. I'll pay her back for her trip in time.
And coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
I asked him, can you do this job without moving the sink? He said yes.
Is that true?
That's correct, yeah.
Did you move the sink?
I did move the sink.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Jenna Vogel claims her antique sink was damaged by her daughter's ex-boyfriend when she hired him to replace the tile in her bathroom. Ms. Vogel is suing Mark Rodriguez in the amount of $854. Mr. Rodriguez claims he discovered additional issues with the bathroom floor after he started replacing the tile and had no choice but to move the sink.
Let's talk about this case with your cracked sink.
Yes.
You're
Your
not
Honor.
happy.
No, I'm not happy, Your
How
Honor.
did it get cracked?
It got cracked. I used my daughter's boyfriend at the time, who was a contractor. I hired him to do the bathroom floor.
Yes.
I had a beautiful antique sink in there. I told him, can you do the floor without moving the sink? He said, absolutely. I told him, quote me a price, please. He quoted me a price, which I thought was fair. I paid him beforehand. He did the floor, did it beautifully. When I came back
Where
in...
are you from?
New York.
Because I'm sitting here going, and I'm like, she's talking quick. New Yorkers, I love the fact that there's a certain energy and flow there. All right. Was there any problem with the floor?
There was no problem with the floor.
You got the benefit of your bargain.
I did.
What was the deal with the sink?
Honestly, when I walked out that bathroom, everything was great. I had
Define great. Everything was great. Because we're talking about you had to do the floor, and the floor, there's not any dispute there.
Right.
What happened to the sink?
She claims that
I don't want to
broke
hear what
the
she
sink.
claims. She can speak for herself. She's a New Yorker.
Right.
I want to hear from you.
Right. Yeah. Well, when I walked out that bathroom, the sink was not broken.
Coming up on America's Court.
I asked him, can you do this job without moving the sink? He said yes.
Is that true?
That's correct. Yeah.
Did you move the sink?
I did move the sink.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Jenna Vogel, who is suing Mark Rodriguez for negligence.
The sink was not broken when you finished your job.
Yes, that's
All
correct.
right. Were you away from the house during this time?
I was. For
For how
3
long?
days,
3
while
days.
he was doing the floor, I was visiting my sister.
Okay.
When I came back,
When you left the house, there was no problem with the sink.
there was no problem with the sink.
When you started the job, there was no problem with the sink.
Correct.
Do we have any pictures, any evidence
Yes, we
of
do.
the sink before and after? What do we have?
That's a picture of the crack that's in the sink.
All right, that's a pretty substantial crack.
Yes.
You would have noticed that before you left.
Yes, I would have.
Have you seen this picture?
Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
I did see it. She sent me a picture over my
Okay.
telephone.
Was anyone else in the home?
Nope.
Did anyone have access to the home in terms of having a key?
No, sir. I trusted him enough at the time. He was my daughter's boyfriend
All right.
to let him in and
The-
to do
your
the
daughter's
job.
name?
Michelle.
Michelle. Does Michelle live with you?
She does.
All right. Did Michelle stay at the house during the days that you were repairing the floor?
No, she
Where was Michelle?
Michelle was with me visiting my
Okay.
sister.
claims.
When you finished the job and you came home,
Mm-hmm.
walk me through what you did exactly.
I came home on Monday. He had finished it on Sunday. I came home with Michelle.
Yes.
I went straight to the bathroom because I wanted to see how it looked.
Right.
The floor looked great. And as I looked towards the sink, there was a huge crack
The
right
crack
in the
that
middle
we're
of the
looking
bowl.
at here.
The one that's there.
All right.
I expressly told him, Mark, when we discussed the job,
Yes.
I asked him, can you do this job without moving that sink? That sink is 86 years old. It's been in the house since the beginning. Can you do the floor without moving the sink? He said yes.
Is that true?
That's correct, yeah.
All right. Did you move the sink?
I did move the sink.
Stop. You touched the sink.
Yes.
Why are we here?
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. You're watching America's Court with Judge Ross. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
You said, I'm not going to move the sink. You moved the sink is cracked. Why are we here?
When I moved 2 tiles off the floor,
Yes.
there was actually discoloration on the floor.
Okay.
There was obviously a leak. I kept knocking out the tiles.
Yes.
It was clear that it was all around the pedestal sink
Yes.
that the leakage was coming from.
Yes.
So I did not want to charge her. I wanted to honor the price that I had gave her, but it was inevitable. It was impossible to actually do the floor without removing this. So I could.
You
fix
made a
that.
decision to move the sink. I get it. The decision was based on you being able to complete the job. Yes?
Yes.
You told her you weren't going to move the sink.
Right.
You felt you needed to move the sink. Did you call her and say, I'm going to need to move the sink?
No, he did not, Your Honor.
I didn't choose to bother her.
All right.
She was
if
away.
you didn't know her, do you do this for a living?
Yes, I do. I have been
If
doing it
this
for a few
was
years.
Deputy Thomas,
Yes.
and Deputy Thomas gave you his key,
Right.
and what would be the conversation, Deputy Thomas?
Don't move my sink.
Yeah. Yeah, and honestly, I would have. That's exactly what I would have done because I don't know Deputy.
Stop.
Yes.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel clearly has to come down in favor of the plaintiff. That is the order. 854, case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $854.
The whole situation's unfortunate. I asked him not to move the sink. He did. It broke. He's got to pay.
I guess I learned my lesson. Next time a client asks me not to do something, I'll make sure I give him a call first.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.